We are live right now. We're a little later than we usually go live. This morning I had a workout program with my wife. We went to a gym, and it's a martial arts studio where my son takes karate. And we were working out, and it went a little longer than usual. So we're going a little later. Let me quickly check and make sure that the audio is okay. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you can hear me. Audio is okay. The sounds fine. Okay, let's see. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you can hear me. Audio is okay. Okay, let me just mute that so we don't have too many other sounds going along with this. Leave a comment. Let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. Also leave a comment and let me know what you would like to learn. I'm only doing these live piano lessons on YouTube every single day, Monday through Friday, for about 2 more weeks. And then we're going to switch with the first of the new year, and we're going to go to a membership program within YouTube. They have enrolled a membership program where we can actually have individuals who pay, and we'll have a few different packages. I think one will be like $3, and one will be, the most expensive will be $25. And each package will have different lessons, how many lessons we have per week, per month, different freebies, different things that we will include. And that is only for the paid members. And then we will do that where every week we'll have different live lessons. Okay, lips are off. I like the lower resolution that kept the sync. I know, I think I may need to go to the lower resolution because I'm using a higher resolution, but it's off sync. Let me switch and go to the other camera. Hold on for a second. Okay, so this is the lower resolution. This should be more in sync, hopefully. We'll find out. Let's see. Will those of us who are members of your site be included? Yes. Actually, people who've already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course will be included, and they will receive the link where they can access all of the videos that we have done. So anyone who has purchased the course, we will actually have that. Let's see. Nope, it looks worse. It does look worse, but does the sound better is the question. It looks worse, and it's because we went to a lower, high def, but is the sound quality better or worse? If it looks worse anyway, let's just go back to, and if the sound isn't any better, let's just go back to the high def. Hopefully that will change. Let me go to the overhead view right now. Can you hear this? Okay, can you hear that? Let's see, sound and picture are great for me. It really depends. I have an iMac, so and I have actually a very high speed, internet, and it just varies with what device you're watching from, your connection speed. Sometimes different parts of the world, it can be off a little bit, so I apologize about that. Good. Piano is good and in sync. Perfect. Well, that is what we want. So in today's lesson, I thought I would do a lesson on playing by ear and talk about how we can actually play a song by ear, and then what we can do when we are embellishing whatever piece of music we are playing. When I am teaching someone how to play by ear, and I'm going to use Jingle Bell as an example, Jingle Bells. Now, if you have this book, The 100 Left-Hand Patterns, you can follow along. I'm actually not going to use this book right now because I'm playing by ear, but I am going to be playing Jingle Bells. And so if you go to the Christmas music section On page 60, you can follow along because I'm just going to play by ear, but I'm going to play in the key of C, which this is in the key of C right here. Now I'm just going to close it up and play by ear, but if you want to see what I'm doing, that is what I'm doing. When I'm first teaching someone how to play a piece by ear, I will actually make sure that they know the melody and hum the melody. And when we are first learning how to play the melody and then add harmony, harmony is secondary, I will tell students that I'd like to have them to sing the melody or hum it. You know, you can scat it like Mel Torme if you want, but just think like we're doing Jingle Bells, and I'll start with Dashing Through the Snow. Ba, 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 da. Now you can do da 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 or whatever you want. You can sing the words dashing through the snow, see dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go. Now I'm singing it just so I can kind of pick out the melody, but I'm just picking out the melody. See, what I'm trying to do is get the melody down. See, in my mind, I'm trying to figure out what is the melody to this song. It's the first step when you're playing by ear. And then we get to Jingle Bells. Now I'm trying to pick out what the melody is. So if you need to, try to sing it and hum. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. And if you need to, you can try to kind of hunt and peck for what the notes are. If you're trying to go up and you need to go to the G, you may hit the wrong note and play E, A, but your ears will tell you, oh, that's not right. Jingle all the way. You can hear the difference. Jingle all the way. And your ear will let you know. So first you need to know what the melody is. All the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So I'm picking out the melody. Whenever you play by ear, the first thing you want to do is figure out what the melody is. Now, when we start adding harmony, we need to then figure out what the chord progression is. If you have the melody figured out, and I know that I'm playing E, 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 G, C, D, E. I've figured out the melody. I've been able to sing it, to hum it, and then I've been able to figure out I'm in the key of C. So first figure out the key signature, then figure out the melody. Now we're going to figure out the chord progression. When we figure out the chord progression, I will tell students to hum the melody, or if they can play it, we're in the key of C major, so I'm not starting with Dashing Through the Snow. I'm starting with Jingle Bells, just for simplicity's purpose. I'm going to play a C major chord, and I know I'm going to start with the C major chord because we're in the key of C major. If you are in the key of C major, your song will start and end with C major. The first measure and the last measure will be a C major chord. Unless it's a minor key, then it would be A minor is what you start with, A minor is what you end with. Now, the only variation to that rule is when you are playing a song that has modes. And we've talked a little bit. If I'm doing C Ionian, D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian, if I'm doing that, then those, of course, the modes, we would start on a mode. We could start on D Dorian, and then we would end on D Dorian. That's the only exception to that rule. If we're in the key of C major, the first measure and last measure of the song will always be a C major chord. So I'm going to play a C major chord, and I'm going to start to hum Jingle Bells. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Now here, I've been playing C. When I play this F, hear that. Can you hear that? That doesn't work. So the chord changes. It goes from a C chord to something else. If I have an F, first thing I'm going to think is, why not try the F chord? Or if I have an F note, I can use any of the notes within the F major chord as my left hand for the chord. Since it's an F, I'm going to play an F major chord. Now I'll go to the F, and I'm playing an F major chord. Since we went back to the E from the F, an E is found within a C major chord. So I'm going to play the C major chord again. Again, I'm just playing by ear. I'm learning how to play a song by ear. Since I played the F, I'm going to go down to the F chord. And then I go back to the E, so I'm going to go back to a C chord. Now here I have a D. That doesn't work. But a D, I can think, what chords will have a D note? Well, I'm going to use this think of it either as the bottom. Well, that has an F sharp. That's not going to work because F sharp is not in the key signature. Or think of it as the top. So as the bottom note, this would be a D major chord, which doesn't work because F sharp is not in the key of C major. But as the top note, this would be a G major chord. The G major chord works because we're going to a G with the left hand. So watch. We start on C, we go to F, we go to C, we go to G, back to C, then we go to F, back to C, back to G, back to C. I'm playing by ear. I'm picking out first the melody. I'm humming the melody. I'm picking out the melody. Once I know the melody, then I add the chords. Now, to start off with, you may not want to add the chord. You may want to add just the root note of that chord. That's simple. That's all I'm doing. Now, later on, as we get more advanced, I could take the chord below the melody, as I've discussed in previous videos, and my left hand is just going to do an octave interval. Now, if you're thinking of counting-wise, think of quarter notes, think of eighth notes. One, so if I'm thinking jingle bells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting the rhythm. Now, if you're playing by ear, you may not even think about counting the rhythm because you have already learned the melody and you're just singing while you play. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. So you're singing it while you're playing. Now, how do we take this that simple variation or version of Jingle Bells, and how do we change it or play around with it? Now, we've talked quite a bit about 100 different left-hand patterns, and you can take any of the left-hand patterns from the book, and you can start to play in a jazz style, in a rock style, pop style. You know, we could do an octave interval. Here, I'm just doing an octave interval, and I'm playing eighth notes. And I play them together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And to change up the rhythm, you could do 1 and 2 and. So I came in on the and of 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And it gives it more of a rock sound. I could start to add chords with my right hand. And we've talked about different chords in different inversions. With my big, let me grab this over here, with my big, thick, essential piano exercise book, this book has all of the chords in every key, in every inversion, where we're practicing learning how to play these chords where it becomes second nature. All major, minor, diminished, sus4, sus2, sixth chords, minor sixth chords, major seventh, minor seventh, dominant seventh, minor seven flat the fifth, minor seven sharp the fifth. Okay, diminished seventh, we go through both the half diminished seventh, which is the minor seven flat the fifth, and the whole diminished seventh. And we try to practice these blocked and broken in every key, where it becomes more and more second nature, so to speak, when we're playing. Because when we're practicing and we're doing these inversions, it's easier when the fingers start to go into muscle memory. If I have a C6 chord, C, E, G, A, I know I have 4 notes. In root position, it's C, E, G, A. In first inversion, it's E, G, A, C. In second inversion, I put the E up on top. Now it's G, A, C, E. In third inversion, I put the G up on top. Now it's A, C, E, G. And then we go back up to root position again, where we have C, E, G, A. Now, it becomes second nature when you practice doing that over and over again, both blocked and broken. Now, you can go as fast as you want, you can go slower. What I'm doing is I'm practicing doing all of the chords, and I can take, this is a C6th, I can do an F6th, I can do a G6th, okay, we're going up doing all the inversions. What I'm trying to do is then say, how can I take my Jingle Bells and we were doing this rock pattern, right? With the left hand. So there's my C6th. Okay. As I start playing this, root, first, second inversion. This is an F6 chord, but I'm doing first inversion. Now here, this is my G6 chord. You can use a G6 or you can use a G7, depending on if you want the F or the E. Now sometimes I'm not playing them all blocked. I'm just playing the outside and breaking them up and adding kind of a rocking pattern. You can do it with a 6th chord, you can do it with a 7th chord. It just adds more color. Now I was doing a rock pattern. We could just do a simple 1-5-8. With my left hand, we could do a 1-5-8-9-10. These are left hand patterns from the book, 100 left hand patterns every piano player should know. And I could just do the chord. Let's say I do 7th chord instead. Here's a C major 7th chord, C, E, G, B. So C, E, G, B is a C major 7th chord. I have C, E, G, B. I have 4 notes. See, this is a C major triad with a major 7th interval. When you combine the two together, it becomes a C major 7th chord. This is in root position. So if I have this in root position, first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, back up. That's a C major 7th. The F major 7th is F, A, C, E, because I have an F major triad, F, A, C, the perfect 5th interval plus the major 3rd interval, combine them together with a major 7th interval from F to E. This is my F major 7th chord. So now, since I have 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 4 positions. In root position, F is on the bottom. When F is on top, that is first inversion. When the A is on top, that is second inversion. See how we're doing root, first, second. When the C is on top, this is third inversion. When the E is back up on top, we are back to root position again. Root, first, second, third, back up to root. I can do the same thing. In this case, since the key of C does not have an F sharp, we're going to do F natural. The G major 7th chord would be G, B, D, F sharp if we were in the key of G major. We would have that F sharp. That's a G major 7th chord because I have a G major triad. Here's my perfect 5th interval, G to D, plus my major 3rd, G major triad. Here is my major 7th interval, G to F sharp. That creates the G major 7th chord. We're going to bring this F sharp down half a step. This is a G dominant 7th chord in root position. So I have G, B, D, F, G 7th, root position. If I put the G up on top, this is first inversion. If I put the B up on top, this is second inversion. If I put the D up on top, that is third inversion. If I put the F up on top, it's back to root position again. Root, first, second, third, back to root position again. So I could take Jingle Bells, add 7th chords below the melody. See how I'm doing that? Now here, there's my G7th. See, this is my C major 7th, root, 1st, 2nd inversion, C major 7th, 2nd inversion, and I'm just rolling the chord. It's an arpeggiatura. I'm rolling the chord, going up to the G. There's my C major 7th, 1st inversion, C major 7th, 2nd inversion. There's my F major 7th, C major 7th, and you could go down to that G7th again, and then we're back to the C major 7th. So if I add a 1, 5, 8, 9, 10 left hand pattern, see how I'm doing this with the right hand? It's a C major 7th with the right hand. My left hand is just doing 1, 5, 8, 9, 10. For fun, I went down to an A with my left hand there. Kind of a fun way to improvise, play around with it. Let me come back to this front view. Okay. Hopefully this will work. It may be off just a little bit. Let me go to the different camera. It's not as good. Hold on. So this one is not high def. It's not as good, but I think this one syncs up with the audio better than the high def one for some reason. So what I'd like to end with is reading one of my poems from my poetry book, Poetry That Motivates. This is titled Anything's Possible. And this is what it says. Anything's possible and anyone can improve. It does not matter what wrongs you've wrought, what shadows of darkness encircle your soul, or the battles you've already fought. Night may befall you, but the sun will continue to rise. Despair may attempt to attack and destroy you, but don't listen when darkness tells you its lies. Focus on faith and be positive. Even if others are afraid and hide, imagine a solution and be creative. And in the end, you'll know you've tried. So that is just a fun little poem from my book, Poetry That Motivates. Let's see. Now you are really off, but then it catches up. That may be a lag with either the server or something. I apologize about that. But let me know if you have any questions, what you would like to learn. Again, we're just doing these live daily lessons Monday through Friday. And what I'd like to ask those of you who are on right now, we have been doing 10 o'clock. Would it be better for you if we did 11 or 11:30? So let me know if it would be better for you if we did 11 or if we did 11:30. What would be best for you? Because I know I've had emails from individuals asking if we could go later with these daily live video lessons, and that would be fine with me. We have been doing it at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 10:30, and today we're going live at 11:30. So if it's better later, let's see, the later the better. I'm in the UK. 10 a.m. is 5 p.m. in the UK. I want to learn to play like you. Oh, you're so kind. Thank you, Denise. Well, if we can go later, I'm fine doing these at, if we say 11:30, Monday through Friday for the next 2 weeks. We can do 11:30. So I'm fine doing that. Leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to learn. And then I will teach that in tomorrow's lesson and the upcoming lessons. So every day we're going to be coming out with a new lesson for the next few weeks, Monday through Friday. And I think a lot of people have been commenting saying they'd actually prefer later. And that is perfectly fine. If we do 11:30, what if we said 11:30 as a time that we could work on, starting at 11:30, and then that way I can plan for that. Let's see. I want to learn to play. You are very kind. That is sweet. All right. Good. Let's see. Could you suggest a left-hand pattern to sound like Vince Geraldine with Hark the Herald Sing? We could do that. We could plan on that for tomorrow's lesson, maybe. I like that poem. Thank you, Dr. Watson. I appreciate that. So, but let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Leave a comment below. Again, I create these videos for you. So anything that you would like to learn in these daily video lessons, please let me know. And then we will share these live YouTube video lessons for the next few weeks. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. If you have any questions about my Essential Piano Exercise course, you can learn more by going to essentialpianoexercises.com. And we have a private Facebook group. Every Friday we do a live lesson that I then upload within the course. So even those who miss that live lesson, and it's usually like an hour and a half long lesson where I'm working and everyone can ask questions and I'm demonstrating, and it's a lot of fun. And we have members from all over the world. We have members right now from 23 countries around the world, which is really unbelievable. But let me know if you have any questions. If you'd like to learn more about my Cool Song series, you can go to musicmotivation.com/coolsongs to learn about those. And you can learn about any of my books. If you'd like to buy my books from my website, you can go to musicmotivation.com. The PDF books are there. Or you can go to Amazon to purchase the paperback books. I always buy the paperback books from Amazon, and then I take it into my local print company. They cut off the side, and then they add the coil binding. So that's something simple that you could do. I did it with my 100 left-hand patterns book, where I took it into the, I think, Staples or Alpha Graphics or different places, and I had them cut off the paper binding to then add a coil binding. We used to come out with a coil-bound book, but we were selling so many more PDF books that people were not buying as many paperback books, spiral-bound books that we were producing. So we stopped producing all of our spiral-bound books and just had people purchase them from Amazon, because more people were buying the books from Amazon, and they only do the paperback book. So let's see, to confirm, those who have purchased your course do not have to pay the subscription from January. Yes. So if you've already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course, you won't have to pay the monthly subscription for the private membership videos that I'm doing. And again, the monthly membership, we have different packages where we'll have like, 2 or 3 videos per month that we will be sharing for like $3. And then the most will be where we have 2 or 3 videos per week. And that is, I think, $24 per month. And that's the most. But everyone who has purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course, I will share the link with you. So you'll have access to the link and you'll be able to watch these. It's a private membership group that YouTube has created. Once you reach 5,000 YouTube subscribers, you can create private membership groups. And they're paid monthly subscriptions where it's only for members who are part of that they will receive the links. So, yippee. Yes. So you will have access to it because you have purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. So I never use Facebook. Don't worry at all. All of the videos that we are uploading within Facebook, we are also uploading within the course. Within the course is actually through Kajabi. So it's separate from Facebook altogether. But all of the video lessons that we do live in Facebook, I'm uploading to within Kajabi, within the course. So there's actually a section within the Essential Piano Exercise course when you go in, and it says previous live video lessons from Facebook. So everything, that way anyone who misses any of the video lessons, I think we've had, 20 or 30 live Facebook video lessons that we've done, and they all are an hour and a half, sometimes longer. Sometimes I tend to be long-winded with the group. But anyone can access those who has purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. There's just a section. And also, I'm adding more and more books, and I'm finishing more and more books, which is exciting. This week, I'm going to be uploading my new book, which is Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. And then I'll start filming all of those videos for the members of the course. And then I'm going to start working on finishing Essential New Age Piano Exercises. And that will be probably 250 pages as well. Each of these books are very thick and very content rich, I guess you would say. And so each of these books within the course, and within the course you have the PDF books that you can purchase. And within the course you get the PDF books as part of the course membership. And it's just a one-time payment for those who are in the course. It's $199.95. So you pay once, and then you have lifetime access to the entire Essential Piano Exercise course. Recently, for those of you who are members, you may have noticed I uploaded all of my books within the course. And I think I have about 27 books. I uploaded all of my books within the course, including all of my motivational self-help books. They're just PDF downloads. If you want to purchase the paperback, you would need to go to Amazon to purchase the paperback for all of my different books. But the PDF books are all available within the course. So that is something that initially was not part of the course, but I added those. And then I'm adding all of the new Essential Piano Exercise books. We started with these two as part of the course, 100 Left-Hand Patterns and Essential Piano Exercises every piano player should know. This week I'm adding Essential Jazz Piano Exercises. Then in a few months we'll be adding Essential New Age Piano Exercises. Next year we're going to add Essential Pop Piano Exercises, Essential Rock Piano Exercises, and I've added 3 or 4 more books in addition to the books that I had already listed that I was going to create and include within the course. So there is a lot within this course. I mean, the video lessons alone, it's unbelievable. Purchasing the course was a no-brainer. I am improving my piano skills by the minute. Thank you. Thank you, Ellington Lover. That That means a lot. And you're from the UK, I believe you had mentioned. So thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I receive emails and testimonials every single week from members of the course worldwide who are using the course, and they are saying similar things, that it is a no-brainer just because of how much I've included. And I wanted to include so much content. I've seen other courses that are charging $1,000 or even $500, and they have maybe a few hours worth of video lessons, and they don't have a weekly lesson that they're adding to it. They've just created the course and then they were done. I wanted this to be a continual course where you get more bang for your buck really than ever before. Because as the members know, every week I'm adding new content, plus we have our live lesson every Friday. And so it's like having a weekly piano lesson with a piano instructor. I just happen to be the piano instructor. But it's something that I wanted to do. So if you know of anyone who would like to purchase the course, we have so much more content that we will be adding. The Essential Piano Exercise course is different than the Cool Song series. So, but for those of you who have both the Cool Song series and the Essential Piano Exercise course, you know that the Cool Song series has over 163 cool songs that I've composed from my series, Cool Songs for Cool Kids, which it's not just for cool kids. Adults love these as well, but they have minus tracks and they have accompaniment and backing tracks that you can play along at performance speed and practice speed, and they're just fun. They became known as cool songs because the piano students, when I would compose these, initially I had composed them for piano students because most of the piano students, they were teen boys and many of them hated the piano, said they wanted to quit, said they wanted nothing to do with the piano. And so what I came up with as an idea to try and motivate them, I would ask them what they wanted to learn, and then I would ask them if I could compose a song in whatever style they wanted. And that is how the Cool Song series came about, because I would compose the music specifically for the piano student, and they would say, I want to do a rock song, or I want to do a pop or a jazz or a blues or a new age piece. And they would even give me a genre and a style and say, I want it to sound like Bon Jovi, or I want this to sound like a jazz piece. And they would give me a name. So I would give them a style and say, I want to do this in this particular style, and we're going to then teach it to you. And I would write out the sheet music, send it home with them, have them learn it. And then when they came back, the first thing almost every piano student would say, I would ask them what they thought of this new piano piece that I had composed. And initially they didn't have the minus tracks, the guitars and the drums and the keyboard synths and the strings and everything else that I've added to all these cool songs. And the students, the first thing they would say is, the music sounds really cool. And if I had more cool sounding music like this, I would practice the piano every day. So they would say, this is a really cool song, is what they would say. And so they became known as cool songs. That is how they became known as cool songs, because every piano student, when I would ask what they thought of the music, they would say, it sounds cool. And usually they would play for their family and friends. And many times they would actually bring new students who wanted to start taking piano lessons from me because they wanted to play these cool songs. And I actually had to turn people away because I couldn't teach all of the students, because there were so many students wanting to come. And at the time I had been teaching Monday through Saturday. At one time I had almost 100 piano students, one-on-one piano students. No one should ever do that. I'm sorry. But I was doing it because I wanted them to learn, and I wanted them to get excited about music, and I wanted them to have fun playing these cool songs. So let's see, Dr. Watson, is the style from Peanuts Christmas special that Vince Giraldi used called jazz? Yes. So Vince Giraldi is a jazz musician, and he has a trio. He has a drummer and a bass player, and then he plays piano, and it's primarily their little trio. They go and perform different places. But he does a lot of modal jazz, where he's doing a lot of ninths doing a lot of ninth chords. So most of the Peanuts music from, if you think of Charlie Brown, okay, most of what he did is these ninth chords. So a lot of what he was doing was jazz. He's a jazz musician. And almost all of the music that he recorded, he actually recorded first, and he created the music. And then the piano music that you actually purchase, it's a transcription, where someone else transcribed, they listened to what he played, because most of the music he didn't actually notate and write out. I'll be honest with you, most of the musicians out there, they'll go into a studio and they will create and compose a song. They'll go into the studio and they will record their song, but they don't have sheet music for it. Many times they will have a piece of paper with chords and chord progressions written down. And sometimes, it's even on a napkin where they will have lyrics and they'll have chords written out. If you have orchestral parts, generally you write those out, because the orchestra, most of them cannot play by ear. They haven't learned that style. They were classically trained. So most of the classically trained musicians, they prefer to have everything written out, because they just can't go in, and unless they've learned how to do it, they can't just improvise on the spot. Now, a guitarist, on the other hand, when I go in, like with my song Triumphant, which is my theme song, if you go to YouTube, you can type in Triumphant by Jerald Simon. You'll see a music video I made, and there are a few different videos, and the full thing is orchestrated, fully orchestrated. I actually wrote the entire thing out for all of the instruments. And so I went in and I played the piano part, and it's from my book Triumphant, which those of you who are members of the course, you actually have access to Triumphant. But I played Triumphant, and I recorded the piano part and some of the keyboard parts, and then we brought the orchestra in, and we had kind of a little behind-the-scenes magic, I guess you can say, is with an orchestra. You can bring in a small orchestra. We had an 8-piece orchestra, and we kept recording them over and over and over again until it sounded like we had almost a 64-piece orchestra, because they would record once and just the 8-piece orchestra, and then we would add more. So what we would do is we would record, and then we liked that take, and then we would record again. So then they were playing with what they had previously recorded. So that way, then all of a sudden, instead of just 8 musicians, it sounded like we had 16 musicians, because they were playing again, and we were recording the second time with their previous recording. And then we did that a third time, so then it sounded like we had 24 musicians. And then we did that again, where all of a sudden now it sounded like we had 36. So each time we were recording a separate track with their previous recording, so then it sounded like this full orchestra. But that way I only had to pay 8 musicians instead of paying 64 musicians to have a big full orchestra sound, because it gets pricey when you're paying $100 per musician and you're paying $100 for the studio to record. That one Triumphant, that's about $5,000 just for one, piece. And just because we had so many parts, we had so many, but the drummer, the guitarist, I wrote everything out and I had them play what I wrote. But then I went back and I said, I'd like to have you add some additional guitar parts that I did not write. See, guitarists actually prefer not having music written out, so they can just embellish and create, and they actually prefer that. Same thing with the bass player. I had the entire bass part written out, and I said, play what I wrote, and then if you want, we can start to play around where you can start to do some slides up and down. And so different musicians prefer, they actually would rather not have sheet music. And you learn how to adapt. As the composer, I knew the sound I wanted, which is why I write everything out for all of the instruments. And the studio musicians are phenomenal. They sat down and sight read what I wrote out as if they had been playing it their entire lives. And they ran through it once, and then we recorded. And it sounded amazing. I mean, the studio musicians, I have the highest respect for really good studio musicians. But hopefully that clarifies, Dr. Watson, in response to your question. He's a jazz musician. And so when he would play, I mean, a lot of what he would do was focused on jazz elements, 7th chords, 9th chords, modal jazz. So, and that's the sound that you get from Charlie Brown Christmas. That is what we have. It's a slow jazz. It's more of a jazz waltz is what they refer to it as. And it's a laid back jazz sound. It's not, sometimes there are blues elements within the music, but it all falls under jazz. See, jazz is kind of the umbrella. And under jazz, we have blues, and we have bebop, and we have, Memphis style. We have Chicago blues. We have Texas blues. I mean, there are so many different subcategories within the jazz umbrella, where we have modal jazz. We have boogie woogie. We have a cross between blues and boogie woogie. Boogie woogie is where you have the octave intervals as we're going up and down. That's kind of a riding stride, sound. A true boogie woogie is maybe where they're doing this boogie woogie sound. So you have all of these different subcategories under the main category of jazz. They all kind of fall under that category. Hopefully that helps explain a little bit. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Leave a comment. Let me know what you would like to learn in tomorrow's lesson or the lesson, a few days after that. Like I said, we're only doing this for a few more weeks, and then we will go to a membership program where we will continue doing these within YouTube, but it will be more of a membership program. So those who have purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course, you will have access to these. So that is something fun that I'm going to be giving to everyone who's already purchased the Essential Piano Exercise course. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know what you'd like to learn, and then we will start to teach that in tomorrow's lesson. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. See you. Bye.